Hello there and welcome to Thursday. It is January the 8th, Thursday, January the 8th, 2026. Still getting used to the sixth part, but there you go. Welcome along. We're live, friends, here on Global Irish Radio. Elvis, the king of rock and roll, born on this day back in 1935. That's right, he'd be turning 91 today, I think, if you do the math, and died at the age of 42. So there you go. A little bit of musical history share with you as we get our program up and running this Thursday. It's good to be back with you live. It's day 8 if you're observing dry January. By now, the hardest days behind you, the physical cravings and the withdrawals and all that stuff should be vanishing if you're doing it right. If not, then I don't know. Hang in the race anyway. Don't give up till it's over, as Tommy Fleming once sang about. But there you go. Welcome along, friends. We hope you're well. It's a happy Thursday. It's the pre-weekend. And we're live on Global Irish Radio. The good news is you're over the hump. Yes, the pre-weekend Thursday. Only one more day to go. Hang in that race as well. It'll all be worth it come Friday evening. And probably the toughest week of the year. You know, the first week of January, the long, dark days after the Christmas. It's kind of a depressing old month, January, and it goes on forever, doesn't it? Yeah, it feels like it goes on for a few months, but there you go. We hope you're well, and exercise is a good way to beat the January blues. That's what they're telling us anyway. Yeah, exercise is just as effective for beating the blues as therapy or antidepressants, meds, or anything of that nature, according to a new study that's out. So now, listen up. Get out and enjoy a nice walk or something of that nature if you're feeling a bit down. A review conducted by researchers from the University of Lancashire. They examined 73 trials, and there was about 4,000 people, 4,500 people in fact, that were adults suffering with depression, and they published the results there in one of those medical journals recently. But essentially, what they found is that exercising can have a moderate benefit on reducing depressive symptoms compared with no treatment or any other control intervention. So, in other words, exercise is just as good as some of the medications. But they said the evidence is limited because it wasn't in a hugely extensive survey or review or anything like that. But the findings from what they can gather from that survey of 45,000 is that walking and exercise is as good as in some cases as some medications and other treatments or therapies that you might use to combat those depressive feelings and stuff like that. So there you go. That is good news, and keep up the walking, keep up the exercising, keep up the January resolutions, the New Year's resolutions. We're coming up on January the 10th, which is make or break day for a lot of people. That's the day, or roundabout. The experts have said in or about January the 10th is when the New Year's resolutions tend to get thrown by the wayside and people forget about them and they move on. They give up. They quit. It's called Quitter's Day. Not sure, usually around the 10th of January. Anyway, welcome along to our live broadcast, Global Irish Radio, and it is good to be back with you live. We weren't with you yesterday because we were off doing our last, hopefully our sixth and final driving lesson in preparation for the taking the Irish driving test, and still waiting to hear if we've been approved for the sixth lesson exemption. Essentially, if you come back from the States, there's no agreement between Ireland and the Great US of A to exchange drivers. In other words, your history driving in the States doesn't really count for a whole lot. You can apply for an exemption whereby you get an exemption on 6 of the lessons. If you didn't have a driving record, you'd be doing 12 lessons. And that's a lot of lessons, 12 lessons before you can even sit the test. So if and it's a process to get the you have to provide all this evidence of driving in America and stuff like that. So you submit that to another department, and if they approve it, you get that 6 lesson exemption. So we're at the 6 lesson mark, and we hope word comes in the snail mail, because they don't use internet down in the driving place in Cork. They insist on mailing all of the responses and forms and stuff like that. But anyway, we are slowly but surely moving through the process. So the 6th lesson out of the way. Yesterday, all about survival skills for coping with the moment that the tester sits into the front seat of your vehicle on the day of the test, which can be quite daunting. And my instructor was telling me about a young fella that, when the driving instructor got into the car, or the tester got into the car, his leg was shaking uncontrollably. He was a nervous wreck, in other words. Managed to get through the whole test anyway. And of course, when you get back to the test centre, you have to safely park the car, and then they'll let you know. So in due course, he managed to get through the test and get back to the parking, to the test centre, parked the car perfectly between the lines. And the tester said, "Are you happy now? Are you completely happy with how the vehicle is parked?" To which he replied, "Yes, indeed, I am." And if he looked up, he would have seen that he was staring at a handicap sign, and he parked the vehicle. He was so nervous, he didn't even see the handicap parking sign. And in fairness to the tester, he was giving him an out, giving him the opportunity to take corrective action. But your man was obsessed by the two white lines and didn't look up, didn't see the sign, and so sadly failed. But there you go. It's daunting. It is daunting, no matter how experienced of a driver you are, to sit next to somebody that's evaluating and appraising your every move. So yes, it was all about getting prepared for that shock, that moment. It's like the if I can liken it in other terms to the moment the newly elected president of the United States feels the burden of the office. There's that moment where it just hits you. Not quite as extreme as that now, but there you go. So we were learning all about that yesterday, and hopefully now the next step is to do the test if we get that 6 lesson exemption. But that's an explanation of our where we were yesterday and why we weren't here with you. And we're just finding out now. Fergus, our fact-check finder here at the programme, tells us the driving testers have now just voted to go on strike. So whether they'll actually follow through on that remains to be seen. But you couldn't make this stuff up. But there you go. Slowly but surely we are getting there, getting legally on the road here in County Mayo. It's good to be with you from just outside Castlebar here in the west of Ireland. Not a bad old day. We'll come to the weather in a moment because there's another storm system heading this way. Not our way, but it might come. There's some warnings for the south of Ireland. We'll talk a little bit about that later on. dailycrack.com. Give us a follow for the podcast. Find us online on our socials. The usual places, Facebook and Instagram, and globalirishradio.com or gir.ie. Big news. Reporter William J. Kelly will be with us tomorrow. It's been a while since we've chatted with reporter William J. Kelly. And he will be a lot of bad stuff happening in Chicago, a lot of bad stuff happening in America, a lot of bad stuff happening in our papers today as well. The front pages, the inside pages. We'll come to the newspapers in a moment. But yeah, join us tomorrow. William J. Kelly used to join us on the Mondays in the past, but we felt Kelly was more of a Friday kind of character. So the crack with Kelly on Fridays starting tomorrow, and look forward to chatting with William J. Kelly, who is making waves out there and holding the Chicago mayor to account. And some of the stuff, you just couldn't make it up. But anyway, there you go. We'll catch up with William tomorrow. globalirishradio.com, studio at gir.ie. If there's a song or piece of music or a bit of information you'd like to impart, that's how you reach out to us here at the programme. Love to hear from you. Let us get back to what's happening in this week country of ours. We say we're here with each day between the 3 to 4 o'clock hour, kind of keep you in touch, keeping you connected with Mother Ireland. The chitter chatter of the nation, the news, the top trending series news stories of the day, although they're quite depressing at times. Today is no exception. Music as well, so it's all happening right here, right now. Stay with us for the hour if you can. And if you can't, you can catch up later at dailycrack.com. So, to the front pages of the papers today and the Daily Star. A sad story on the front page of today's Irish Daily Star. Tragic Guido dead. And that's the story of a young Italian man who was left paraplegic after an unprovoked attack in Ireland back in 1999, and he died yesterday. And he was only 17 when he came to Ireland way back there to learn English. It was his first foreign trip, and he was set upon in a random attack, somebody with a broken bottom or something, and he just as a result of the injuries, he was left paraplegic, and his life changed, altered forever. And despite all of that, he never lost his love for Ireland. He always had a soft spot for this country, which is remarkable, really, I think. And he even came in 2019, and he was afforded a reception by the President, Michael D. Higgins, at the time, and they went to the Mansion House in the Dublin, and he was afforded great hospitality. But his life changed forever by that random attack. And back in his home in Italy, he died yesterday following a heart attack. But his life changed completely and utterly following that random attack way back. Senseless, random, pointless attack in 1999 that left him paraplegic and changed the trajectory of his life. He passed away. So that's a story that's getting a lot of coverage in the papers today. As I say, it's a sad and tragic story. The end, I suppose, the final chapter in the life of Guido. Anyway, Another interesting story another story that's getting a lot of attention, I'm sure not just here in Ireland, but I mean it happened just outside our economic zone around the coast of Ireland, about 500 miles in the North Atlantic or something like that, so it's well outside our economic zone, or whatever they call that area, the surrounding waters of Ireland. But the headline on today's Daily Star there, Oil to the Chief, and it's a story about the US storming that tanker in the Atlantic as Trump threatens to invade Greenland again. So never a dull moment, and lots of coverage on that tanker, which was they'd been playing cat and mouse apparently for the last number of weeks, and they were trying to evade the Donald and his forces, including getting it re-registered in Russia. So essentially they hijacked what's now a Russian tanker. So heightening international tensions as well between Russia and America, and you wonder a lot of stuff going on in the world. And then elsewhere in the United States, yes, another story that's a lot of people are absolutely shocked at is that the activities of the ICE agents in Minnesota. I'm sure it's a huge story in the States, but over here as well it's getting a lot of attention. And the young lady that was literally shot at point blank by an ICE officer, and it's awful stuff, and it's very, very graphic and very, very disturbing to watch. And you wonder what is going on and how it came to that. But there you go. Doesn't matter. She was an American citizen, by the way, but it didn't matter if she was an illegal alien or what she was. I think shooting somebody at point blank range, a woman unarmed in the seat of her car in a neighborhood, down a neighborhood street, that's just absolute terror and awful, shocking stuff. And it's just brutal. Used to be America the Beautiful, now it's becoming America the Ugly. So that's a story as well, particularly on our social media feeds. We're seeing a lot on that story. And, the activities of there must be 20 or 30 of these ICE agents going up against a girl in a car and just shot her. I thought it was so graphic. Couldn't watch it. Terrible, terrible, awful stuff. Anyway, we'll move along from that. We have to move to happier places, God knows. We hope you're well this Thursday. As I say, globalirishradio.com. This is the Daily Crack with myself, Sean G, and with you most days around about this time. This time of the year, January, is there's a great Irish tradition, a great thing that happens in the capital, Dublin. Young scientists descend on the RDS for the annual Young Scientists exhibition, and this is it's a big event, and it's kind of it's where we look to, it gives us an idea of what are the big ideas, who are the big entrepreneurs, and, the scientists of the future and the inventions, and, of the future. It's kind of a preview of what's to come. And there's always some wonderful projects and wonderful things. And a lot of these youngsters go on to big things. And we think of the Collison brothers from Tipperary. Probably they're billionaires at this point, but they won the Young Scientists Award way back some years ago, and they went on to form that online payments company Stripe. It's a household name now globally, and certainly in e-commerce terms, where it is used, I think, as probably the primary payments technology, shall we call it that, online. So the Collison brothers went on to big things, and Silicon Valley, all of the rest of it. They founded some other companies along the way as well. By the time they were 17 and 19 years old, two brothers from Tipperary, as you said, but by the time before they were even 20, they'd sold their first company for about $5 million to someone in Silicon Valley. But anyway, it's, I suppose, fitting now that the contest or the exhibition is, they're the main sponsors of the event. So they've come full circle there from winning it as youngsters to being the big sponsors of the event. And as we say, hugely successful. They're billionaires. They're only young lads, and they participate in the event as well. There was, although they couldn't make it there yesterday because there's a big storm across most of Europe, so they weren't able to travel with the snowy conditions. A lot of flight cancelled, so anyone coming to, well, not so much Ireland but other parts of Europe, affected by this storm system that's dumping a lot of snow on European capitals and stuff. So he had to, one of the Collison brothers addressing the exhibition there live yesterday. Also on hand was our new president, Catherine Connolly, and she was addressing the opening of the Young Scientists exhibition. About 1,000 students there presenting 550 projects and competing for more than 200 prizes throughout the week at the RDS there in Dublin. And President Connolly said science and technology can be an essential part of the transformative change required to meet the interconnected challenges of our time: irreversible climate change, biodiversity loss, the normalisation of war, forced displacement, global hunger and poverty. So a lot of challenges indeed in the world ahead and in the days in the future, and but a lot of big ideas there, I suspect, as well. So it'll be interesting to see what project wins out this year. Youngsters from all across the country, they come with their projects, as many as 1,000 students, and there's it's wonderful insight into what's going on, I suppose, at that level, but also ideas for the future. So that's one to watch. And as I say, there's an urgent need for I suppose, to tackle climate change. The President emphasised at the Stripe Young Scientist Technology Exhibition there yesterday. That was one of our key points. So no doubt some of the projects and the contributions of students will be focusing on that, no doubt. So there you go. That's the Young Scientists Exhibition, the Stripe Young Scientists and Technology Exhibition, going on all this week at Dublin. And there'll be a lot of high-profile people in attendance as well. And by the end of the week, we'll get to see the winners and who wins outright. So that's always interesting as well. So we'll be watching the news closer to the end of the week. We'll let you know early next week who won at the end of what big ideas prevailed and took the top prize at this year's exhibition. Another story I see on the same page of today's Irish Daily Star is the story of our emissions here in this country, and opposition parties have accused the government of throwing in the towel, calling it a catastrophic failure that Ireland will not meet its 2030 emission targets. That's right, the government had committed to reducing carbon emissions by 51% between 2018 and 2030, and you'd wonder who came up with this plan or who signed up to these targets, because apparently very unattainable and very unrealistic. And when it comes to goals and New Year's resolutions and emissions targets, they should be attainable and they should be realistic and stuff, and it seems not to be the case now. And Ireland could be facing a 28 billion fine for missed targets, and if that is the case, then there are big carbon taxes coming down the line to foot the bill for that particular fine. Personally, I think it's a scam, the carbon tax thing, and how we as a small nation are on the hook for such lofty targets and such hefty fines, when you have other countries and developing countries with their emissions and all the rest of it, and they're getting off scot-free. And you look at China and all the stuff that's happening there, and we're being fleeced for our, we're making the effort, but we're a successful country, economy, and we're firing on all cylinders. And so, our carbon footprint, the carbon emissions are probably high, but there you go. Other countries, they're high too, and are they subject to the same kind of scrutiny and punitive measures? It is hard to know, but that'd be a hefty one. 28 billion if we miss those targets, and it looks like we will miss them by a lot. Something like 15 million tonnes of CO2 equivalent or thereabouts. So we'd want to start planting a lot of trees to kind of stave off that kind of a fine or that kind of a breach. So treedeeds.com. There you go. How's about that? How about that for tying in our great sponsors here? Irish Gift Trees, producing CO2 or oxygen or whatever it is, oxygen to combat the CO2 and the dangerous gases that are resulting in those hefty fines for us. GlobalIrishRadio.com. We are the Irish Diaspora Station, and thanks to Ger O'Brien for the past couple of hours from irishradio.org. And lots of great programs coming your way throughout this Thursday and throughout the weekend as well. We make stops all around the world is what we do, and places like Auckland, New Zealand, Sydney, Australia. We'll bring you Oliver's program today because we weren't here with you yesterday, so we didn't get to pipe through Oliver's program yesterday afternoon either. So the Ireland Calls show, or the Ireland Calling show from Auckland, New Zealand, with Oliver Lee, coming up after this broadcast, and stops all around the globe at the weekend: London, Boston, Chicago, New York, Toronto. We've got it all right here. GlobalIrishRadio.com. Now, we hope you're over the winter flu, and lots of people were suffering from the flu, and particularly in the run-up to Christmas. It was a big story, and the latest numbers, it seems, the news is good, I think. The flu seems to be, it seems to have peaked for this year, and right before Christmas as well. The number of people in hospital with respiratory illnesses remains high, though. There's about 632 patients receiving treatment across the country, which is probably half what it was at its peak, maybe. I don't know. The HSE says influenza levels peaked just before Christmas, though case numbers, they're still kind of high. And in the most recent week, up to last Saturday, about just over 2,000 flu cases were reported, following just under 1,800 cases the previous week. And the season's highest weekly total was just over 3,500 cases. That was recorded in the run up to Christmas. So the Christmas week, as they had predicted, it kind of peaked and has been levelling off since then. So that is the latest word on the flu. And apparently it didn't actually, the admissions didn't reach the expectations of what they had kind of planned for, in large part because there was a huge or a fairly significant uptake of the vaccine and other measures taken by GPs and hospitals to manage demand. So while it was bad, it could have been worse. A lot of people were hospitalised, still a good few in the system, but they had expected actually the numbers to be that little bit higher, but mitigation measures, I suppose, avoided the worst case scenario. So that's the latest on the flu. Done and dusted for this year, we hope. And if you had it, we hope you're feeling better. Lots of people, and the rancher was saying, and he's not the only one, was it John Harren that was coming back from the States for Christmas, and by the time he got here, he had the flu, and he's down with the flu for the best part of the Christmas. And I seen Marianne McDonald coming over from Philadelphia as well, and she was no different, blaming somebody on the plane next to her for picking it up. But that's the thing when you're travelling, and we talked about this last year on the programme, and I hope I've learned from it, and hopefully take note, because going through airports, and particularly the security part of the airport where you put your stuff into those plastic container boxes, they are like petri dishes. They are they don't get cleaned very often, and there's every kind of germ. The research found every germ under the sun and respiratory illness and virus imaginable found on those boxes. So, you know, a lot of times people blame it on the individuals that they might be sitting next to, or people in the plane. It's not always the case. It's some of the some of the other things happening going through the airport and putting your hand on the elevator rail or whatever it is, and say going through the security stuff. So you're exposed to all kinds of things, because airports, and particularly around the holidays, lots and lots of people passing through and leaving their germs in their wake. So you have to watch out for that. So anyone, you know, it's nothing worse, is there? And a lot of people say, you know, when they travel, they pick up a bug on the way. Most likely, you know, it's going through security or something like that, rather than the people on the plane with you. So do keep that in mind and practice good hygiene. Bring the a thing that we used to have all the time, and at the entrance to stores and shops and bar, everywhere you went, there was the I think it's such a shame that we gave up on it, the sanitizer stations that were at the entrance to stores. And if you recall, that year we had a big problem with COVID, but the flu cases were way down, and other respiratory illnesses and viruses and stuff were way down during the year of the pandemic, because better hygiene practices. So there you go. We need to get that sanitizer back. And since we're talking about health and that kind of stuff, 2 in 3 people were not told that death was imminent. That's what a new report by the Irish Hospice Foundation is telling us. The study also showed Ireland's older population is growing rapidly, and the number of people aged over 65 is projected to double in 20 years, surpassing 1.5 million by the year 2046. So we're getting older as a population and as a nation, and currently around 35,000 people die in Ireland each year, but that's expected to grow to about 49,000 by 2046. So funeral undertakers and anybody in that business can expect a bit of a boom over the coming years as the population sets to, as you say, the proportion of people over 65 increasing dramatically. That will have its own challenges for welfare and taxation policy in this country as well, which is why we need more and more people and immigrants to support the burden of our ageing population. And 2/3 of people who lost a loved one indicated in this study that the person had not been told by a medical profession that they were likely to die. And this meant that the person dying missed opportunities to make arrangements, and family members were not fully aware that their loved one's death was so imminent. And I suppose a lot of times, in times like that near the end of life, people are, I've seen it a lot, people are in denial, and you know, they sometimes you know, it has to be set out in very, very clear terms. This person's on the way out. You've got days or weeks, whatever it is, because the individuals closest to them sometimes, be it because they don't want to, or they just can't see it, are in denial or whatever. They don't realise that death is so imminent. And that's been borne out there in that study, as you say, by the Irish Hospice Foundation in today's Irish Daily Star. Enough talk about death. Let's talk about the weather. The weather. You cannot go wrong with the weather. Oh no, you cannot go wrong with the weather. Met Éireann has issued a status yellow weather warning for 4 counties ahead of Storm Goretti, which is sweeping ashore in Ireland maybe later today into the weekend. Goretti is her name, and she was named, I think, by the French Met Service, if I'm not mistaken. And all of the ones coming from the Atlantic side of the country, those storms are named by the British Met Service, the Irish Met Service, and the Dutch Weather Service. And then the ones coming up from Europe, they're named by the other weather services in Europe, like France and Spain and places like that. But Met Éireann have warned that Storm Goretti will bring rain, heavy at times, and turn to sleet and snow in places after this this afternoon, and particularly in elevated areas, but particularly the south of Ireland. So those counties, Cork, Kerry and Waterford and Wexford, particularly exposed. So it's basically just brushing past us. Other parts of Europe, it's creating all kinds of winter havoc, if you will, and travel chaos, because lots of flights in Aer Lingus, if you look at their site, have all kinds of alerts up suggesting that there's disruption to flights across most of Western Europe and places like that where the storm is. So it's we had a little bit of snow last weekend. We've had enough of it, thank you, here in Mayo. You can keep it down there in Europe and in Cork and Kerry and Waterford and Wexford. So we got the worst of it, I think, last weekend. They're getting it this week. Potential impacts include hazardous travelling conditions, spot flooding, poor visibility and icy patches. So difficult, challenging travel conditions once again, particularly in the south of Ireland. And we said Storm Goretti, named by the French Met Service, is forecast to sweep across parts of England, Wales from today and tomorrow, bringing heavy rain, widespread snow and severe gales as well. So this is a windy, snowy, blizzardy event, and current weather maps suggest that the worst of the storm will avoid Ireland, but Met Éireann has cautioned that there is some uncertainty in the details for what may happen locally as the system passes. So we might get a splash of rain, which we normally do, but I don't think we'll be getting snow in most parts. Maybe a little bit of snow down there at the extreme south of the country. So that's your weather for you this Thursday as we come into the weekend. It's not too bad, particularly when you compare it to what we've had last weekend and how much of this part of the country ground to a halt. By the way, mention of Aer Lingus, they currently have their winter sale on now, so if you want to take a little short break, or you're planning to go to the States or farther afield, check out airlingus.com now, because lots of deals, and they're giving you a break on the baggage charges too as well. I think that's something new. I don't know if they normally do that, but they're using that as a kind of a carrot to incentivize you into booking your tickets now for travel up to about March. So a lot of seats up for grabs if you want a wee sunbreak or visit just a shopping trip to New York or something like that. Those seats are now on sale. What else have we got for you, friends? GlobalIrishRadio.com, as you say, with you most days around about this time, and thedailycrack.com is where you'll find a podcast of this, and give us a follow there as well so you'll get updated when new episodes drop and the like. If you're looking for good podcasts, and we have a gateway to most of those, and all of those in fact, at irishpodcast.com, we'll link you to the most listened to podcasts here in Ireland. And fact checker Fergus was indicating that the list was infiltrated by Russian propaganda. Not sure what he's talking about there, so we'll have to check out and see what are the top trending podcasts here in Ireland at the moment. But yeah, there's a countdown of the most listened to podcasts, and I've seen a lot of political ones, including The Rest is Politics from Alistair Campbell and Rory Stewart, and that's probably given the events going on in over with the Donald. So a lot of people turning to them for insight and perspective on global events politically, particularly as it relates to the Venezuelan crisis and the stuff going on with those oil tankers and the Donald in general. So featured prominently in the top 10 are political podcasts. But there's podcasts there. There's a whole plethora of podcasts. And as you say, another great way to stay fit is pick out a podcast, follow it, and take it with you on your daily walk. I was looking online, I'm not sure what it is. Maybe somebody knows what Tai Chi is. It Tai Chi walking? We were talking on our first broadcast back this year about incorporating a walk into your New Year's resolutions, and we told you how to do it properly. The interval walking, speeding up, slowing down, the fast-paced walking, the walking with weights, and the walking on inclines, stuff like that, to get the most out of your walk. So turns out if you've been walking and just walking normally, you may not be getting the most out of your daily routine or your daily walk. There are ways to maximize the benefits that you get from going out in the afternoon for a walk, for an hour walk or a half an hour walk, whatever it is. Just by making tweaks to the way you do it can bring even better benefits. So watch out for that. But I'm intrigued by Tai Chi walking. I'm not too sure what it's all about. Mindful walking was another one that's good for the mind and the mental health, whereas the others might be good for the physical benefits of the body. The mindful walking practiced by Blind Boy. Blind Boy has a podcast here in this country as well. Very popular, very well listened to. The Blind Boy podcast, and he swears black and blue, or he swears he's all about the mindful walking, and that's to say good for the mental health. So we'll have to check that one out. But I'm intrigued by the Tai Chi walking. I was signing up for it, and they were taking all of your details, and they're crafting the Tai Chi routine exactly for you, and they're going to send it to you, and then they asked for the credit cards. I had to pull back for a little bit. So I thought we'd do a bit more research before we commit to a Tai Chi purchase paid packet of walking exercises, whatever it is. Anyway, there you go. GlobalIrishRadio.com, and let us tell you, we were talking about the Elvis, the king, born on this day way back in 1935. Another story of kings here in this country. The Kings of 2025, that is according to the headline in today's Irish Daily Star. Kingfisher's big hit, Killa, is the biggest song in a single year this decade. So not only was it the biggest song of the year, the biggest single song in a decade by any artist in Ireland. That's according to new figures from the Irish Recorded Music Association, also known as IRMA, I-R-M-A. And the new data reveals that the Irish charts have experienced massive growth since the association, since they incorporated audio streaming in 2014. Up until that, it was just CDs and cassettes or whatnot. But once they incorporated the streaming, they've enjoyed huge growth and massive growth at that. There's about 13.2 billion audio streams a year now, and that's an increase even in 2025. It's up by about 6% on 2024. So that is the future, as you well know. Spotify, not sure how well the artists get paid out of that, which is why a lot of them do the touring thing now. Nobody really buys a CD or a DVD or anything of that nature anymore. It's all streaming, isn't it? But it was an exceptional year for Irish acts at home and internationally, and Fontaine's DC and CMAT nominated yet again for the Mercury Prize, while Kneecap left their mark everywhere from Glastonbury to Coachella. And let's see, what else can we tell you? Leading the charge, of course, is Limerick-based folk trio Kingfisher, whose song Killa is officially the most listened to track in Ireland for 2025, and we're told the biggest song of the last 10 years at that. So they had an amazingly successful year. It's a node to guitarist Owen Fitzgibbon's rather his GAA club. It's a song written about the GAA club, and it was I think written as a result of a wager if the team won or something, and it has really captured Irish people's imagination like no other song this year, and it's become not just the most streamed song of the year, but the most streamed song in any single year this decade. About 27 million streams they got, so there you go. And it was released at the tail end of 2025, and they got number one early in 2020, released at the tail end of 2024, and they got number one early in 2025. But then something happened towards the end of the year. The Late Late Toy Show, and a live performance on there where they joined the boys and girls of the Late Late Show for a live performance, a surprise appearance. As the youngsters were doing their thing, onto the stage came the lads from Kingfisher, and they did that live performance which truly captured the hearts of the nation, and it propelled them back into the number one top spot for Christmas. So they got they started out the year at number one, and they finished the year at number one, and they were number one for about 18 or 19 weeks throughout the year. So an amazing year for Kingfisher. The song was written in about 20 minutes or something like that, and people love it, and they have a total of a lot of their other tracks are featured high on the streaming list as well. So it's been the breakout song for them, and it's brought them a lot of success. So that's Kingfisher and Killa, the biggest song of the last 10 years now, they're telling us. And we played it on the show just before Christmas, didn't we? And what we did was it was a fusion of the two performances, the studio version of the album and, of course, the version of the young boys and girls on the Late Late Show. Remember singing it live on the night. So we what we did was we played a little bit of the studio version of the song, and then we faded in the toy show appearance, and people loved it by all accounts. So we thought we'd start our program with that for you again today. Again, the biggest song of 2025 and the biggest success of the last 10 years, Killa and Kingfisher and the boys and girls of the Late Late Toy Show to get us started this Thursday.
Of Glenbower to the river to soar, from the arms of my mother to the land ever pure. All I have to remember is the pride that I felt round the park Canada, where the boys never knelt. They'd go raring and tearing and fighting for love, for the land they call Killa and the Lord up above. Killa la 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 la, for the green and the white I adore, for the parish to last evermore.
One Oscar boy, yeah. From north to Glenbower to the river to soar, from the arms of my mother to the land of her pure. All I have to remember is the pride that I felt round the park Canada, but I was never knelt. They go raring and tearing and fighting for love, for the land they call Killa and the Lord up above. Killa la 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 la, for the green and the white I adore, for the parish to last evermore.
Ná hacuig bagusu said be na scoring hour, and she club is rising Serby and bring the jack. Sna her is as wigny and artist natty. Mergaller boy he Killa og is brought in our feet.
They go raring and tearing and fighting for love, for the land they call Killa and the Lord up above. Killa la 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 la, the green and the white I adore, for the parish to last evermore. Killa la 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 la, Killa la 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 la, for the green and the white I adore, for the parish to last evermore.
95 Canberra, high up on the wing. I know what up to senior, what a beautiful thing in the darkest of hours, in the depths of despair. And the Killa boys for Tarakle, the air they go, tearing and fighting for love, for the land they call Killa and the Lord of above. Killa la 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 la, for the green and the white I adore, for the parish to last evermore. For the green and the white I adore, for the parish to last evermore.
When my days are no more, bury me with my to Sean G on Global Irish Radio.
Hello, all you Global Irish Radio listeners out there, wherever you may be. It's myself, Finbar, here in beautiful northern Colorado, inviting you along to the Raggle Celtic Folk Show, streaming here live every Monday and Friday evening at 10 p.m. Irish time, where you're guaranteed to hear some rare old recordings from the old country and beyond. And it's all here on globalirishradio.com, the home of the Raggle Taggle. Listen to the Raggle Taggle on Global Irish Radio.
Yeah, friends, another exciting episode of the Raggle Taggle coming your way this Friday at 7 here on Global Irish Radio, courtesy of Finbar out there in beautiful northern Colorado. We're live here on Global Irish Radio, dailycrack.com, and with each day between 3 to 4. Broadcasting live from just outside Castlebar, County Mayo. And just before the break, Kingfisher, Kings of 2025, with their big song Killa, and helped out there by the young boys and girls on the Late Late Toy Show with Patrick Keelty just before Christmas, the Late Late Toy Show. And Patrick Keelty returns tomorrow night with the Late Late Show, first one of 2026. We don't have details of who will be on it yet. We'll share that with you maybe on the programme tomorrow if it comes our way. But there you go. Kingfisher, as you say, Kings of 2025, with that big song, and then with the help of those young boys and girls, propelled back into the top spot just in time for Christmas. So an amazingly successful year. And another king, speaking of kings, as he is affectionately known as King Kevin in Newcastle footballing circles. A piece in the paper today about soccer icon Kevin Keegan, and he's been diagnosed with cancer, his family has announced. He's 74 years now, and he's had an amazing career playing for places like Liverpool, Hamburg and Newcastle. And I mention him because they're mad, football mad in Newcastle. I used to live in Newcastle way back in the day, and football and sports so infectious in that town, and the rivalry between Newcastle and Sunderland and all of the rest, and you'd be torn between the two sides and stuff. But Newcastle, a wonderful town, lovely people there. And Kevin Keegan, he was, as they call him, King Kevin, and as I say, lived there. And during the years I was there, that was his time. He was top of his game then, and so were Newcastle. And it was around about the time of the Alan Shearer breaking all kinds of records with the signing at the time. So there you go. It's a statement shared by Newcastle on social media from the family. Read, Kevin Keegan was recently admitted to hospital, and he's going under evaluation following some abdominal symptoms. So a lot of love felt for King Kevin, and we wish him well. And he was a great player, and he rescued the club twice, once as a player and then later on as a manager. He also played for his country, England, 63 caps, scoring 21 goals, and he started the 1982 World Cup, and he was also later made captain. So 74 now, diagnosed with cancer. We wish him well and hope to get a handle on that one, and he's around for many more years. But as I say, a lot of love felt for King Kevin, and I say he was just an icon of the ages when I was in Newcastle. Okay, Ferguson is on a lovely piece about Knock Airport, and would you believe last year was the busiest year on record at Mayo Ireland West Airport. That's what's called, Mayo's Ireland West Airport. The passenger numbers reaching almost 9.5 million. Not 9.5 million. 946,000. So a lot of people. For the first time in history, that's the highest number of people going through, as you say, Ireland West Airport here in Knock, in the west of Ireland, in County Mayo. An amazing story is the story of Knock Airport, the vision of one man, Monsignor James Horn, who just single-handedly just built that airport. And, you talk about people with vision and drive and enthusiasm, and, an amazing story. And it's miraculous that it's a miracle that the airport exists at all, and it all comes down to the vision of that one man, Monsignor James Horn. Talking about the airport and the numbers, the good news in terms of the traffic, it is a 13.5% increase compared to the 834,000 passengers that came through in 2024, making it Ireland's fastest growing airport. So there you go, officially Knock, the fastest growing airport in the country, and they're up to about 946,000 passengers. So it'll be nice to see them hit the million mark, and I'm sure that will happen soon enough. The third consecutive year of record passenger traffic is a testament to the continued strong support for the airport, the chairman of Ireland West Airport Arthur French said yesterday. And so there you go. The airport serves, believe it or not, about 21 international destinations, and it's served by 3 airlines: Aer Lingus, Lauda Europe and Ryanair. And Ryanair recorded its busiest every year for passenger traffic at the airport, and they service a lot of places. The busier routes are Edinburgh, Liverpool, London, Luton, Manchester, and then some of the Spanish destinations. Aer Lingus also recorded their busiest year ever for passenger traffic at the airport, about 96,000. Most people using it to go to London, or the London Heathrow service being the busiest year there. So good news for Knock Airport here in the west of Ireland from its humble beginnings. And a lot of people laughed and joked at Monsignor James Horan and the notion of an airport on what they termed a foggy, boggy hillside. And we have a lovely clip. It's an iconic clip now, and one that people often dig through the archives to find, of Jim Fahey interviewing Monsignor James Horan on the day that the diggers, the machines, just rolled into this literally foggy, boggy hillside in Charlestown outside Knock. The vision was for an international airport that would fly pilgrims to the Knock Shrine. That was the vision of Monsignor James Horan, and he said about realising it, and it's a remarkable story. We have that little clip of Jim Fahey and Monsignor James Horan as the machines were making their way into the grounds there to begin construction on the airport. So we'll take you back in time with the archive piece now.
Horan, what exactly is going on here?
What do you think is going on? We're building an airport, and I hope the Department of Transport doesn't hear about it. Now, don't tell them. And we're going to have it built in a very, very short time. You see the activity that's going on here. There's another load coming now. And I think it's marvellous, aren't you?
Are you being absolutely serious about what's going on
here?
And
we have no money. But we're hoping to get it next week or the week after.
You don't really have permission, and you don't have money?
I'm not sure whether I have permission or not. But I mean, I'm going ahead anyhow, just taking a chance.
There you go, a little bit of archive audio from the encounter with Jim Fahey and Monsignor James Horan. Nobody, no permission, but it didn't stop him. And he realised that goal. And the biggest tragedy of it all, the biggest shame, I suppose, is that the man instrumental in building that airport literally was bare hands and raising funds from all around the globe. And the Irish Diaspora played a role in that too. And everybody was sending money to build Knock Airport. Charlie Haughey helped out too with allocating some funds. But it's such a tragedy that the airport was never named after the man who literally is single-handedly responsible for it. It should be Horan International Airport instead of this Ireland West International Airport or whatever they call it. I mean, you have places like Reagan Airport in Washington, O'Hare International Airport, whatever it is, and Logan International Airport. Why you can't have a Horan International Airport is beyond me. And no, in the history of airports, there's never been a single individual, the vision of that individual responsible for the building of an airport, as in the case of Monsignor James Horan. And on that note, a lovely, if you get a chance, you're not familiar with the story of Knock Airport, and most people are, but a lovely documentary on YouTube, On a Wing and a Prayer, and lovely, archival footage. And they actually have the first plane coming in and the exchanges between the captain of the Aer Lingus flight and the traffic control at Knock Airport on the day, welcoming them to the airport. So it's a lovely, lovely nostalgic piece, On a Wing and a Prayer on YouTube. Check it out if you're not familiar with that. And going back to sport for a minute again, we're talking about Kevin Keegan, and we're talking about earlier in the week, we were talking about the year started out for Manchester United and Celtic with the coaches being fired. And we were saying the fact that at Celtic it was like Lanigan's ball for Martin O'Neill, stepping in and stepping out again. He stepped in a few weeks back when they fired the last manager, and he's been brought in again now to fill in while they find a permanent replacement for Winifred Nancy, who was axed after just a handful of games in charge, 33 days in charge, and lost 6 of the 8 games or something like that. But O'Neill has been Martin O'Neill, who once managed Ireland and of course managed Celtic way back around about 2005, has been talking and saying about the fact that he feels so bad for his predecessor, who, as we say, only lasted 33 days. The Frenchman Winifred Nancy, not a great 33 days, a lot of losses. But the ex-Ireland chief said, if you turn around and said you did feel sorry for an outgoing manager, people would say it's nonsense. But that's what he said, because he said he really respected the guy, and he had a lot of bad. Well, he's a lovely guy. Just things didn't go his way, like a lot of things in life, Of course, a lot of the work has to be done by the players, but it wasn't working out there. And just like in Lanigan's ball, Martin O'Neill stepping in again to fill the void till a permanent replacement. We also talked earlier in the week about the fact that Man United, they ousted their manager, and they're on the hunt for another one as well. And the fact that a guy with strong Mayo connections, I think his mom, isn't it, is from Achill Island, and he's visited Mayo many, many times. And Darren Fletcher is his name, and he had his first day at the office yesterday as well. Mixed results there. Wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. At the end of the day, the result was 2-2. So, as I say, Darren Fletcher enduring a roller coaster start to the Manchester United his term as Manchester United boss on what was probably a frustrating night for him. And there was an own goal, but they came back. But at the end of the day, it was even Steven. Burnley 2, Man United 2. That was the first outing of interim manager Darren Fletcher at Man United. A lot of eyes obviously on that game, and a lot of eyes on what's going on at Celtic as well. And finally in sport, we have a lot of sports news today. It's kind of a sports news story anyway. Don't always do a whole lot of sport, but there was a lovely story, or there is a lovely story in the Irish Daily Star today in the sports section, all about a Mayo footballer, and the title or the headline, "To Win Just Once," that great Saw Doctor song, "To Win Just Once." There's nothing new, it says, about Mayo footballers chasing All-Ireland finals and All-Ireland medals and all that stuff. Sure, that has been their story since 1951, according to today's Irish Daily Star. And who is it that's writing it? I'm not sure who's writing the piece, but it's a nice little piece. And since 1989, that has been the curse killing them. 11 times they've gone to the All-Ireland final, 13 if you count replays, and they are still waiting for a win. Fergal Boland is no different. He didn't make the matchday panel for the 2021 final. Indeed, he was dropped from the Mayo squad for a year by Kevin McStay a couple of seasons later, but he's back on, and he's back in the race, and he is also back on the familiar All-Ireland trail this weekend. Just not as a footballer. That's right, he's got other skills. On Saturday, Boland will run out in Croke Park as a hurler for his club Toreen, facing Tipperary. Tipperary's Upper Church Drombane in the AIB All-Ireland International Final. Same destination, different love affair. And in Mayo, that alone makes the story unusual for Boland. It makes it perfectly natural. So a nice read if you get your hands on today's Irish Daily Star on the story of Fergal Boland and his quest for an All-Ireland football medal and his quest for All-Ireland hurling glory as he plays for his club this weekend. And for him, it's all a case of, well, he'd be happy to, I suppose, win just once, wouldn't he? Here's the Saw Doctors.
To win just once would be enough for those who've lost in life or love, for those who've lost their guile and nerve, their innocence and their jive and verve, for those who feel they've been mistreated, discriminated, robbed or cheated, to claim one victory is hard. To win just once is their desire. To win just once. To win just once. To win just once. That would be enough. To win just once again. Smiled on by the gods, to race with speed along the track, break the tape and not look back, to never have considered losing, as if to win inspired choosing, very soul for all to find, an honest heart and open mind, to win just once, to win just once, to win just once, that would be enough. the cynics and the pessimists, the self-indulgent, almost rich, blatant hurlers on the ditch. The time is passing, so come on and face the ball. The game is on. To win just once, to win just once, to win just once, that would be enough. To win just once, to win just once, to win just once, that would be enough.
Good deeds are great things, and a single good deed can grow into a forest of kindness. At treedeeds.com, you can dedicate a tree in someone's honour and make a lasting impact on the planet. Each tree is deeded and comes with a personalised certificate, perfect for birthdays, holidays, memorials, or just because. Celebrate life, give back to nature, and leave a legacy that grows. Visit treedeeds.com today. That's treedeeds.com. Rooted in Ireland, gifted worldwide. And you're very welcome back, friends. Coming up, getting ever closer to the finishing line this Thursday. And before the break, the Saw Doctors to win just once. We'll dedicate that to Fergal Boland and all the Turin supporters, the hurling fans there in Turin, going up against Tipperary this weekend. More good news for Paul Mescal and Jessie Buckley. She started out the week with good news and finishing off the week with good news as well, because they've been recognised once again for their magnificent portrayals of William Shakespeare and his wife Agnes in their new flick, Hamnet. The duo both received nominations for the 32nd Actor Awards, formerly known as the Screen Actors Guild Awards, and those were announced yesterday, Wednesday, in our absence. The nomination comes not long after Jessie picked up the Critics' Choice Award. The Killarney-born star tipped for Oscar glory this year when the Academy Awards rolls around in March. So far, as you say, these award ceremonies, a little smaller, but kind of precursors and an indication as to the minds of, I suppose, the elite in terms of the acting world. So far, it's off to a good start. More nominations. And we could be picking up a Best Actress award at the Oscars this year, but let's not jump the gun. One awards ceremony at a time. But it's wonderful news, and as I say, two iconic roles, the most quintessential of British roles there, being we referenced that there the day before yesterday, being played by Irish actress Jess Buckley and of course the great Paul Mescal. So it's a fascinating story, and hopefully we wish them every success along their way there. It will make for a very exciting Oscars, won't it? You've been listening to The Daily Crack with me, Sean G, here on Global Irish Radio. dailycrack.com for more details. Great programmes coming your way throughout the rest of Thursday. Jim Corbett's radio show later on tonight, 6 o'clock. Big Tom, DJ Tom, back 8 to 9, live, tom@gir.ie. And The Crack from Philadelphia coming your way as well. And another chance to hear this programme later on as well tonight. But that's our lot for today. Thanks to Margaret helping out in the background as always. Thank you, Mary Ellen Fitzpatrick in the great city of Philadelphia, for your beautiful Christmas card, which arrived yesterday, along with a bunch of other Christmas cards. Yes, on post, we're sitting on them for, a long period of time, but we got them. And thanks again, Mary Ellen. Lovely, lovely card. And hello to you, Johnny Foley, out there in the great city of Chicago, sending us a lovely picture of the sunrise, I think. Sunset or sunrise? I think it's the sunrise, as a beautiful sight to behold, to be out that early in the morning, as Johnny often is for his daily walk. So I'm not sure if he does the Tai Chi walking or just the regular walking, but it's a lovely picture and it's a lovely time in the morning to be out, and it's a great view indeed. Or a great sight. A sight to behold, as they say. That is our lot for today. Our quote of the day, by the way, today comes from John Lennon. Reality leaves a lot to the imagination. Isn't that the truth? You could ask Monsignor James Horton about that one, if you were still around. But there you go, John Lennon. Reality leaves a lot to the imagination. That's a lot for today, friends. Back tomorrow, same time, same place. Reporter William J. Kelly joining us live from the windy city of Chicago. We'll leave you with a brand new song, brand new release from Jack Keogh, The Ballad of John Williams. And we'll talk to you tomorrow at 3. Happy Thursday.
When last I saw John Williams, a young man full of pride, to have his bride of just 4 days stand shyly by his side. He laughed and slapped me on the back. He said, boy, oh, can't you see? I've seen the last of windswept bogs and bogs, the last of me. And the peelers and the landlords and the rising of the moon. And if ever I return again, 'twill be too bloody soon. Rich man, poor man, beggar man's wife, sail away into the night. Where they'll end up no one knows. Round and round the story goes. He said, my friend, I'll take my chance in far off New York town, for they say there's lots of work there and a good man won't stay down. For with my lassie by my side, we will build a better home. And sure, when the seas trip over, lad, we never more will roam. So he said farewell upon the quay. There was nothing left to do. I would pray for John and his lovely bride, that their dreams might all come true. Why envied you, John Williams, and your lovely fair-haired bride, to be sailing on that mighty ship across the ocean wide? For she's a fine liner that was